Well, hello. It's been a minute since we've done a live stream, but I haven't uploaded hardly anything lately. I'm getting back into making videos again, so we're gonna try and do a little walk around to the farm tonight and do a little bit of catching up. I'm gonna try and start uploading every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday until I catch up uploading everything for everything that I've got recorded. I recorded footage all spring and all summer. I have hours and hours of it. I just haven't edited it. So figured I'd do a walk around tonight and basically just show an update of how everything's looking and go from there. So first and foremost, I bought this home the other day. It's a tie no-till drill. Nothing too fancy about it. It's in decent shape. Got a culture cart on it. So actually gonna put out a little bit of wheat this year. It's my first year growing wheat. I've never done it before, so I bought this for that and to do a little bit of cover crops with it. I'll probably pull it with this tractor as long as it's not tied up on an auger. But I got some work to do. I actually got to flip that hitch over, and then this has the hydraulic hookups for a like an older John Deere tractor, like a 4020. So those won't work with this tractor. I've actually got to put different couplers on it. But other than that, I'm gonna wash this tractor and get it waxed. Go through, the oil shouldn't need changed. I haven't really used it a whole lot this year, so should be good on an oil change. One thing I do have to do, this linkage right here for the gear shift, I don't know if you can see that, but it broke right here. So I've actually got everything I need to fix that. What I did in the meantime is took a pair of pliers and got that thing in gear. So it's stuck in fourth gear, and I've got 4 ranges. So essentially, instead of having 16 gears, it's got 4 right now. It's a pretty easy fix, but they still wanted like $200 for that threaded rod, which is a little ridiculous. But this is the drill that I'm planning on putting wheat in. I'm going to do some grass waterways and a little bit of cover crops with it, but probably be pulling it with that. Now, to answer the question of everybody's asking about the Steiger. What replaced the Steiger? Well, that replaced the Steiger. So there's your sneak peek on it. I won't show it until I really come out with a video of it, but yeah, that's what replaced the Steiger. Another Steiger replaced the Steiger. It is really good tractor, really good shape. I put a straight pipe on it just because it sounds cool that way. And the old muffler, which is over there somewhere, rotted off of it. So I figured it was cheaper to put a straight pipe on it than it was to replace the muffler. But 3 LED lights on it. It's got 8 pretty much brand new tires. I think they're a couple of years old, but it's in really good shape. But you'll have to wait for a video on that one. I won't quite reveal it yet. Got a new lawnmower. I don't know if that's been in a video or not. Picked this up this year. I actually just washed it a minute ago. Just finished mowing. We got about a ½ inch of rain today. That chisel, I traded off. Actually have a ripper coming that I traded that for. I got a DMI inline 7 shank ripper that is also on a caddy. So that Steiger that I got to replace the one that burnt does not. I don't have a way to pull an inline ripper with it unless I get one on a caddy, so that's what I did. I bought a 7 shank DMI, but obviously this grass needs mowed. I mowed most of the yard, but this is on a slope and it rained today and 0 turns, and they just like to slide, so I'll wait till it dries off tomorrow afternoon and mow the rest of the yard. But yeah, this is what got replaced. Obviously this one is cooked. So basically, yeah, this is still here. Trying to find somebody to scrap it at this point. Really not a lot I can do with it. It's just kind of here, sitting here, being ugly, reminding me that this spring didn't start off that great. But hey, didn't start off that great, but it's looking good now. I've kind of been cleaning up things down here. So another thing I bought this year is this Rakinator, which is a Bauer built. Right there's where I got it from. This thing is awesome. Grade the driveway with it. It's just got little teeth on it. Just little metal teeth, and when they wear down, you can replace them, which I've used the crap out of it, and I don't think they've worn down at all yet. So that thing's awesome. It works really good just grading dirt like this, but it also works really good in driveways. I would rather use that than a grader blade or a box blade. As long as I'm not trying to shape the driveway up, I'd take that thing any day. But been kind of trying to clean some things up down here. I kind of made a mess out of it, it looks like. But started to build a shooting range down here, actually. I got to build some berms and stuff up down here in case any want to ricochet. But I've been piling up some older equipment down here, basically junk. Most of this stuff's going to get scrapped, like this trailer. The tongue's rotted off of it. This disc I'll probably scrap. I hate to, but I probably will. I'll probably pull the tires off of it just because those are 6-lug tires. I got a lot of things that those will work for in case I get a flat something or on something. I'll have some spares. I think I've already robbed one off the other side, but I think it's a Case 490 disc is what that was. This not inline, this 7-shank ripper that I used last fall, this V ripper, if somebody wanted to buy it, I'd turn loose it. I bought that at an auction pretty cheap, and just really don't have much of a use for it since I got that inline ripper. I got the inline ripper because it's not going to disturb the ground near as much as what a V ripper does. I got a propane tank down here. That's for the dryer. That has not been used in several years. Those 2 Chem Farm tanks I am going to keep. I got something in the works for that. I did sell the Kinsey planter. I don't have a replacement planter yet, but there's one coming. This is the harrow off of the Landau. I actually put rolling baskets on it. I bought a crap load of them. Found a bunch of them on Facebook Marketplace, actually. So this is what they are. These are kind of the ones that weren't in the best shape. I kind of weeded them out. But they're a double basket with the teeth on it. But yeah, one basket there and one basket there. All the bearings are good in them. These have been sitting outside, so they look a little bit rough. But that's what I put on the Landau. I took the harrow off and put a double rolling basket on. I am going to put a 1-bar harrow in front of those baskets just to kind of level out any berms. That way the baskets have a little bit smoother ride, do their job a little better. I got to get rid of all these. I actually am going to make a shower in the shop out of these. Basically what I'm going to do is cut this off here, cut this off here, cut a wall out, and basically have a door. It'll be open, put a little curtain at the top, and then obviously they're meant to drain right here, so we'll rinse chemical out real good. But I'm actually going to put a little shop in the shower for those days that I soak myself in hydraulic oil before noon. So that'll be kind of nice. As far as the crop's going, the crop looks really, really good. Everything is been post-emerge sprayed, has fungicide on it now. I sprayed fungicide on all my beans. Had a helicopter come and fly the corn. Got some video of that. But this right here, so I had a little bit of a mishap on that corn right there. It's just a couple rows, but it looks really bad. But basically, we were doing some things. We were shooting some things. Got a little out of hand right there, and may or may not have cooked some corn. So there's that. But this corn here, actually So everything on this side was, this is the first year it's been farmed. There's always been cattle on this. It's always been a hayfield, and well, it's been pasture. But we won't pull an ear off the end rows. We'll go in a little bit, make it realistic. But the corn is extremely healthy. Not a whole lot of disease pressure, a little bit of diplodia in some of it. Southern rust is popping up in the area, but a little bit of gray leaf spot in some of this. But I'm really, honestly, this here looks really clean. These leaves are looking really good. But this corn is, most of it is 16, 18 around, between 38 and 40 long. We got a half-inch rain today, so you can see it's really filling out all the way to the tip, which is good. This one's got a little bit of tip back to it, but it's still trying to fill some out here. So I'll try and hold my phone here. But most of this corn should be making in the high hundreds, at least at the very minimum, but really in the 200s, low 200s, I'm guessing. 210, 220 is what I'm kind of figuring averages at. It's been a really good year. So this guy here had some issues pollinating, it looks like. So you've seen it here first. That's the thing with the live stream. I can't go hand pick a good ear. I just pulled a random one. That one had a little bit of issue pollinating, but not bad. But this here is some of the questionable corn. The stand wasn't near as good. Super rough when I planted that because it was sod and I tried to work it. I would have been better off probably no-tilling it. But it's got really good color to it. And honestly, that planter did a really good job. That's pretty picket fence there. This is what I like to see, is when the ears are bulging out of the husks like that. But we're also on the side. Anybody's corn looks good when you're standing on the outside where it gets plenty of sunlight. But what I'll do now is, I don't know, we could go basically look at equipment. We can look at crops, basically whatever you guys want to do, whatever you guys want to see. We are 10 inches over for the year in southeastern Indiana. Yeah, we've gotten plenty of rain this year. We definitely got more earlier this summer than we're getting now, but we did get a half-inch today. I mean, we've gotten enough that I've made ruts this year mowing, but this is always wet down here. The pond overflows down here and all that, so all the water from my yard. Do I have any new toys? Yeah, I do. You know, I showed the Steiger earlier that replaced the burnt Steiger, but I didn't show it too much. Wow, this corn looks good. This corn looks phenomenal. I've got, I sold the Kinsey planter. Haven't got its replacement yet, but I know what I'm getting. But I won't. I'm getting another blue one, just a little bit newer, but gonna get one with some bells and whistles on it that my old one didn't have. As far as tillage goes, like I said, that inline ripper should be showing up anytime. It was actually gonna come last week. Had some things come up and couldn't take delivery that specific day. But yeah, we'll go up and look at some new toys, or basically do a tour, I guess. It's been a minute. Is it too early to tell? No, the corn's definitely gonna do all right this year. I've ran a lot of it over right here, trying to back stuff in the shed. I just sold a boat here. I had a boat there, which I bought earlier this summer and already sold it. So one thing, got the backhoe in here, which we've always had. I don't think it's been in many videos, but it's always been around. Been doing a little bit of bush hogging on a landlord's farm with it. some places I couldn't fit the bat wing, basically. It's handy having a little bush hog around, because the 20-footer doesn't like to fit most places. Well, I say that. Primarily, I use the 20-foot bush hog, the bat wing, which it's hooked to the Magnum right now. We'll go around and look at it, but the 20-foot bat wing, some places it's just kind of hard to wiggle into, so that little 7-foot bush hog's kind of nice. So back here, there's the bush hog. It needs cleaned up. I've been mowing quite a bit with it. I'm probably going to take it out sometime this week, do a little more with it. But this is the spray trailer, so I don't think, I think it was in the Enlist video, the Pioneer Enlist soybean video. But this is my tender trailer that we put together. I shouldn't say we, one of my friends did most of the work. He got the tank fastened down, which I thought was a really good idea. So he put springs here. So this is bolted, and with that spring and washer being there, it keeps the tension on these. That way they don't come loose quite as easy. But it's a 5,000-gallon water tank. It's actually a crude oil tanker off of a, it's kind of, I think it was a totaled out truck, but they took the tank off. I bought it pretty cheap. Bought the trailer really cheap. Don't look at it too close. For example, yeah, don't look at it too close. But threw an inductor on, threw my pump, a few totes on, and I still had room to put jugs, which I'm pretty well done spraying now, so it's pretty empty. Obviously the totes are all empty, and I don't really have any chemical on it. I just haven't got it cleaned up and unhooked yet. But the combine, I'm going to be getting it out here hopefully in the next couple weeks, get it cleaned up and start going through it. Same with the draper. I got to get the draper out. For those who don't know, I bought a draper head. I got rid of the two 10, 20, 30-foot heads. I got rid of them, replaced them with a draper. I got quite a bit of work to do on the draper to get it to fit on that combine. There's some adapter plates and stuff like that. That's for a flagship combine. That is a legacy combine. Basically, the feeder house is just different size. And I think I've got to do some stuff for the header latch and all that, but nothing major, pretty easy stuff. And I've got all the parts sourced. I don't have them here, but I have them sourced. But been doing some bush hogging with the Magnum. Got it halfway clean. Unfortunately, the bush hog's not near as clean, but I need to pull it in to the shop, give the blades a little once over with the grinder, check the gearboxes, grease everything, and probably mow the roadside ditches one more time for the year, just to make things look good. And then we will be hooking that onto the grain cart. So one thing I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to put up a hoop barn. I guess I watched Brian's farming videos a little too much, and I really, really like that hoop barn he put up. And they're not stupid expensive either. So there's already concrete out here where everything's parked. So I'll probably cut down that tree and just put a hoop barn there so I can back all the trailers. Things like that head cart that just take up a lot of room. Maybe put them in a hoop barn there. And then I want to start building grain bins out here. So that won't be done this year. The price of everything, you know, with COVID and all the other stuff that's going on. Some of the pricing for what grain bins and just raw material cost right now is sky high. But I would like to put 2 grain bins out here between probably 40 to 60,000 bushel a piece. I don't know. We'll just got to do some more pricing, but I would like to pour 48-foot pads and go 8 to 10 rings. So that's what I'd like. But yeah, I'd like to put a hoop barn here too, and then I'm gonna put some concrete pony walls in. So if I wanted to dump you know, if it was a really good year for corn, I could always put dry corn in there. I could put fertilizer in there, basically haul beans to the river, haul fertilizer back. I've thought about doing that as well, but fertilizer is hard on trailers, so I'd like to get a second semi, and if I do get a second semi, it's going to have a dump trailer on it instead of a hopper bottom, and I'd like to go stainless steel. That way I could haul fertilizer. But wow, this corn looks good. So yeah, it's going to be fun running the combine this year for sure with corn that looks like this. There's not really many bad looking crops in our area. Now I know some places are having a really tough year, but here we're in a little bitty pocket where we have been fortunate to catch really good rain this year. Yeah, so GSI is one that I'm looking at. GSI and Sukup, and possibly Brock, just because there's a local place pretty local here that puts up Brock bins. But yeah, I would prefer a GSI or a Sukup, but really I don't know enough about them to really have much of an opinion on what bins I'll put up. So that's kind of the equipment that's back there. There's the burnt Steiger again. And then we will go back up to the shop. So the sprayer is actually, you won't be able to see it because of the corn. You'll be able to see the sprayer because of the corn, but it's in that shed. If you can see that roof there. Trying to get this shed cleaned out. There's just a lot of junk in it. Trying to make a little more room in here. It's actually got concrete here, but spilt some dry AMS. I've had chemical and whatnot back in here, so this is just kind of where crap gets dumped. But I'd like to get this stuff picked up before this fall, kind of make it a little nicer in here. I'd like to move that water hydrant. I'd like to put a second one in down in here somewhere, and then have a place where I could put all my sponges and car wash soap and cleaner and things like that. Sponges, you name it, ladder, whatever. Put that stuff in here, and then have my power washer and hose and everything down here. And then I could wash equipment where all that dirt is so it doesn't get in the gravel. And I have all my stuff in here, be a little more organized. But that's my wash bay under the blue sky. But we'll go back up to the shop here. It's a beautiful night out tonight, so I thought I'd do a live stream, kind of update, since the videos that I'm going to be posting are from April. Got a nice little scuff on my truck the other day. Got my wife a new car. I really like it. But we'll go back in the shop here. Got the shop kind of picked up and then started making a mess again. It's still a work in progress, getting things organized how I want it, but a lot of that stuff looks like junk, but I find myself digging through here all the time using things. Like there's a drawer just full of springs, so if I ever need a little spring for something, I go there. That's all pipe and fittings and PEX plumbing stuff, PVC, you name it. Plow bolts, bolt bends, combine parts, guidance stuff, sprayer parts, PTO pump for if I ever rig something up. Lots and lots of filters and more filters. Cart scales, guidance stuff I'm not using, and just all kinds of knick-knack miscellaneous stuff. But so there's the new drill. There is the new tractor behind the drill for everybody that's asking. It's right there. That's what replaced the Steiger. But 5230 is in here for a good service, and get it cleaned up. I'm actually going to wash it probably tomorrow and then bring it in here and wax it and clean it up. I was going to wash this drill off too. It's not really dirty, but I pulled it home, got in the rain a little bit, so I just figured we'd rinse it off a little bit, go through, grease it, set it where I think I want it, which until I have it in the field, I really don't know. But yeah, that's the tractor that burnt is still here. I'm trying to find something to do with it. Nobody seems to want to come and get it to scrap it, which is surprising because the price of scrap right now is pretty high. But I've been doing some knick-knack fabrication stuff, welding a couple things, mainly fixing things, but been doing a little bit of that, a little of this, a little of that, little building a few toys, building a few more toys, and building toys. But yeah, that's basically what I've been up to. So I would scrap it myself, but I don't have a way to move it. I don't have a low boy, so unfortunately, as far as moving it myself, I don't really have a good way to move it. I could cut it up in pieces, but I really hate to, because like that rear end of that tractor, the differentials, the axle, all that should still be good. I mean, it may need some seals replaced, but I don't think anything's really warped. Now the front end, it got hot. It's junk. But yeah, I really don't have a good way to move it. I need somebody that's got a low boy with a winch on it, or I mean, the skid steer would probably pick one end of it up, but I couldn't pick the whole thing up at once. So I think that thing weighs like 16 or 18,000 pounds, at least. Actually, it weighs more than that. I think it weighs more, around 20. But the skid steer will pick up like 12,000 pounds, so it wouldn't quite pick it up. You'll see a close-up of the new tractor. I kind of showed it a little bit earlier. Not a ton, but you'll see it when the video comes out. So what I'm going to start doing, and I said this earlier, I'm going to try and post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I've got hours and hours of footage. I just haven't uploaded it or edited it. I haven't edited any of it except what I posted last night. Now that I've got some more time, I'll be doing that. I got everything planted, sprayed, fungicide on, all kinds of miscellaneous projects and stuff I've bought, changes to the farm throughout the summer. So I've got footage of all that stuff. I just haven't posted it. So I'll be doing that. I just wanted to make this live stream, kind of walk around the farm and show people kind of an update of what's going on. I did sell the planter. I got rid of the Kinsey. It is getting replaced with another similar planter, but a lot newer and a lot more bells and whistles. So as far as any other changes, I got some cool toys for the corn head. I kept the corn head I have. I was actually looking at trading it or selling it and then getting rid of it and getting a 8-row corn head, but I think that I'm still going to stick with a 12-row planter just because it fits in and out of a lot of my fields. I got a lot of smaller fields, so a 16-row, although I've got the tractor to pull it and a combine that would run an 8-row head, I'm probably going to stick with a 12, but I don't know that for sure yet. The beans on the reclaim ground look very, very good right now. They actually they're surprising me a lot. Now, combine's not ran through them yet, so I can't say what they're going to make, but they should do very well. Would I buy a John Deere? I mean, yeah, if the price is right. I run a lot of Case IH equipment, but that doesn't mean that I'm partial to Case. I run Case because it's what I've got dealer support here for. We've got good John Deere dealers around here, so I don't have any problem with John Deere whatsoever, and they do have really good dealer support. It just, every time that I've needed a piece of equipment, it's worked out that I've found something that lately has been red. I do like red combines. I don't have anything against a green combine, but I grew up around a green combine. I grew up riding around with a neighbor a lot in a 6620. What guns do I shoot? I shoot all kinds of guns. Rifles, shotguns, handguns, whatever I can. If you'll hand it to me and say, here, give it a go, then I'll try it. You see up close to the new tractor. I am looking forward to running the Draper. Everybody tells me that once you run a Draper head, you'll never want to run anything else. I hope they're right. It looks a lot more complicated than an auger head, but I think as long as they're set right and maintained right, they're supposedly excellent to cut with. So I do not know. I've never ran it. I know you're supposed to definitely keep underneath the belts clean. Would I shoot a 50? Yeah, I have shot a 50. I don't own one. I would like to, but they're like $7 around. So have I ever ran a 1660? I have not ran one. I've been in one, but I've never ran one. Yeah, shoot any questions you guys want to ask. I'll do my best to answer them. Do a little Q&A for about 5-10 minutes, and then I'll probably get off of here and start playing with some toys. So anything you guys want to ask, go for it. I'm going to go back up in the chat. Do you have any tips to start farming or begin farming? Yeah, marry it or inherit it. Otherwise, find a good day job and start from there. But to just start farming and think that you're going to pay for a farm by just farming, unless you're in some niche market where you've got a really good, if you've got a really good return on investment and you're doing something special, you can always do that. But you're definitely going to need outside income to start farming. Is the new planter a center fill? Well, I haven't bought the new planter yet, but more than likely, yes. It will probably be a center fill. I'm going to scroll up here. Do I have any plans to upgrade the harvester? Maybe, but my 2388 doesn't have a ton of hours on it, and it's in really good shape right now, so I mean, unless I pick up a lot of ground, which I'm not really planning on, I'm kind of happy right where I'm at. So unless I picked up a lot of ground unexpectedly, which just probably isn't going to happen, but I'd like to just maintain the size I am. But unless that happened or something just catastrophic happened in the next year or two, probably not. Maybe after that, I don't know. Why is there a tarp behind me? Because I'm too lazy to take it down. But that tarp will go all the way to the other side of the shop. I have them on hangers, so I can heat just this end of the shop in the wintertime. I just haven't taken that down. I pulled them back. They're on a cable up there, but it helps heat this. Future plans for the farm. I would like to build grain storage. Purchase some acres that I rent, and what is the new tractor? The new tractor is another Steiger. Unfortunately, this one is a bareback. It does not have a PTO or a 3-point hitch, so it won't be on the grain cart, but that's fine. The Magnum can run the cart. Am I going to the Farm Progress show? Yeah, maybe. I might be there. I might not. I don't know yet. Dream tractor. I don't know. I don't know. I like a lot of tractors, so I don't know. Do I still have the 305? No, it was a 315, but no, I don't still have it. That was being leased to get me by this spring, and I didn't end up buying it. Any tractor upgrades? I upgraded quite a bit when the Steiger burnt. So as far as tractors go right now, I'm going to stay with what I got. Buy crypto. I've already got some. How many acres do I own? How many do I rent? I own about a fourth right now, or am in the process of, and then the other 3/4 I rent. If I can get a deal on a 16, do it. Yes, I'm not necessarily ruling out a 16, but I don't know. I found a good deal on a 12 that I really like that's set up exactly how I want it, so that's probably what I'm going to go with. It is an interplant, so what I'll probably do is keep the 12 for 3, 4, 5 years. Well, I'm going to keep it for a while, but use it and then maybe buy a 16 row in addition to the 12 row splitter, and plant beans with 12 row splitter, and then find a 16 row box planter down the road and get like a Kinsey 3600, 3660, something like that, or even a John Deere box planter 1770 or 1760, whatever, and then have liquid and all that on it. I might do that down the road. Looking for a 6-row corn planter, what would I recommend? If you're looking for a 6-row on a budget, I would say a John Deere 7000, 7200, a Kinsey 2000. Those are really good planters. They're simple. White makes a good planter too, but Kinseys and Deeres, there's parts out there a dime a dozen. What guns do I own? All of them. For the ATF's sake, it's none of their business. I love the current harvester, just curious. Yeah, I love it too. I really don't have a reason to get rid of it. How do I like the 854? So the 854 is the sprayer. I really, really like it. It did a really good job for me this year, but I think that I might sell the Rogator already. Nothing's wrong with it. It worked great. But I would like to get a high clearance sprayer like a Miller or a Hagie and do some custom fungicide work next year. So probably going to get into that, kind of start a little bit of a side business there, not necessarily on herbicide, but doing fungicide in through the summertime and all that. So I don't know. Even if you're born into farming, outside income is usually a must. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Even if you're an established farm, being a diversified farm. So, like for me, I just row crop. So, for example, that's kind of why I want to get into doing the fungicide and a little bit of custom spraying, because, corn and soybean prices are good right now. They're not always going to be. Yields are good right now. They're not always going to be. So, in the years that row crop farming isn't making a ton of money, I want to be diversified into either trucking or custom application or something along those lines, maybe both. Just kind of pedaling in the side. So in those years where margins are a little tighter in row crop farming, there's diversified income. So, it doesn't matter if I'm making, I'm just throwing numbers out there, but if I'm making $50 an acre versus $150 an acre in a year where margins are tighter, I'm still, that application rate's the same. As long as I'm running those acres, I've got that income coming in, regardless of what price or yield is. You'll see the new tractor soon enough. I might just show it at the end of this. I don't know. Have I ever checked? I haven't found. No, I don't know what that channel is. I can't say. If I can buy land and swing it, do it. Yes, I agree. I agree. Here's why, and I'll kind of, this is why I believe in buying land. So land historically appreciates. The value of it goes up. Now it fluctuates, but over time it goes up. So say I trade that tractor in for a brand new one. Yeah, that tractor's probably going to last, a brand new tractor, I'm going to get 20, 30 years out of pretty easy. But over that 20, 30 years, it depreciates. Now, if I buy land, yeah, I'm probably going to be paying on it for 20 or 30 years. But for every acre I buy and I pay off, I can offset the cost of the next acre I buy. So basically, when you own 2 acres, you can use those 2 acres to pay for the 3rd acre. Then you start putting zeros behind those acres, and the more you own, the easier it is to buy more of it. That's why buy ground. The value of ground always goes up. You can improve that ground. You can put fertilizer on that ground. You can always improve the ground. So yeah, the more ground I can buy, the more I will, as long as I can swing it. Ground's expensive, so. Any plans to try a new crop, or am I staying with corn and beans? Yes, actually. There is a new, to me, tie drill that I'm going to put somewhere between 150 to 200 acres of wheat out with this year, or this fall. I don't know how much I'll end up putting out, but run a 12-row planter and an 8-row corn head, pretty frustrating at times. Yeah, a neighbor of mine actually does the same thing. It works for the most part. The new Haggies are very nice, but if I buy one, it won't be new. It'll be used, but not super old either. Have I ever ran a wheel horse? I have not, but there's a lot of them around, especially north of me. Did I already get a Haggie? No, I did not. Did the lottery, what? Win the lot, oh, yes, win the lottery. Diversification is key, absolutely. The more diversified you can be, you know, like, so you say you're growing cotton, peanuts, cow-calf pears. Yeah, I mean, the years that cattle aren't doing so great, hopefully the grain is. And the years that grain's not doing so great, hopefully the cattle are. I mean, the more diversified, well, I say the more diversified you can be, the better. Problem is you get really diversified and you got 100 things going on at once. You're going to need manpower, and good help's hard to find. It has been a while. 4 acres, what's the best thing to do with it? This is my parent. 15. I would say find a farmer that'll help you out and use that money for input costs, and work for a farmer with a trade-off that you can use their equipment and in return work for it. Work for the payment on the equipment, or not payment to own it, but just to use it. That's what I did. That's how I got started. You're 19, been farming for 2 years, only about 100 acres. Family member has almost 1,000 coming up. 1,000 acres is a big jump. If you could, baby step into it. If you can't, I mean, ground's hard to come by, especially rental ground. It's very competitive. I would say if you're going to start renting 1,000 acres, you know, you're going to need the equipment to farm 1,000 acres. So I would definitely say if you're going to rent it, lock it in for multiple years so you don't farm it for 1 year and go buy the equipment to do it and then end up, you know, 2 years down the road, somebody else outbids you on it, and all of a sudden you're stuck with a lot of equipment and no ground. So do a multi-year lease on it, more than likely. You know, 1,000 acres is a big bite, but yeah, I mean, if the rent's right on it, you could swing it, especially where things are right now. Now, yeah, grain prices are high right now, but fertilizer's right behind that. I about fell over the other day when I priced some fertilizer for this fall. So inputs are high, but if you can go to a banker with a solid business plan You know, they're probably going to put a lien on your crop, but it's doable. Definitely want crop insurance, though. One of my dad's. I agree. Once you pay the first farm off, after that it's a little easier every time. Should you buy 2 new tractors or 5 old ones? I don't know. How good are you at turning wrenches? If you can turn wrenches, then then I'd go for the used ones. Do I plan to double crop beans after wheat? I do. I do. Now, granted, double crops will be a little more difficult. You're not gonna get the yield out of double crops that you would full season, but yeah, I do plan on planting some. What are the most common crops in my area? Corn, soybeans, a little bit of wheat, a little bit of sorghum. It's your brother, you, your 3 sons, and 2 full-time. Well, I appreciate that. I am in the process of potentially bringing someone on, kind of full-time. But if I do that, that's kind of part of the deal. He's going to be full-time, but he's going to be full-time doing more than just things here on the farm. We're going to kind of diversify into some other businesses as well, that can kind of feed into the farm, and the farm can kind of feed into them. There's kind of side businesses that they'll pay for themselves, but the farm's initially going to help start them. But in return, they're going to lower input costs quite a bit for the farm. So, Trump or Biden? You probably know my opinion on that. You can probably guess. Used to be on a dairy farm in Alaska. Never seen a tractor with 2 gear shifts until then. Yeah, I mean, that 5230, I wouldn't say it's got 2 gear shifts, but it's got one stick for ranges, 1 stick for gears. Yeah, it's kind of like it's similar to a quad range John Deere, I guess. What is sorghum used for? Animal feed? I think so. And then I think sugar, they mill it into sugar, I think. Honestly, I don't know. I've never grown it. It's grown around here, but not a ton of it. That's a question I can't answer, really. How much do I currently farm? I try and farm it all, or I try and farm everything I rent and own. Family is red, and we have an old 335 Steiger with only 2,500 hours. 335 Steiger, you say? Interesting. Yes, they are good tractors. Very good motors, too. Have the army worms made it that far up north? They have not yet. I hope they do not. I'm watching that very closely, though. I hope that I'm done spraying this year, but if I'm not, if we do have them coming, I will jump back out there with the sprayer and hit them with insecticide. Go visit Cole the Corn Star. Well, I don't like to go to people's houses unannounced. I don't know him too well. Now, there are some YouTube farmers that I talk to quite often, and I would like to visit some of them and make some videos with some of them. That may happen down the road if I ever get the time. What are army worms? Army worms, they're about roughly an inch long, and they're green, and they will absolutely decimate a crop if they're bad enough. We typically don't have them too bad. There's a Steiger in the background. We can get in it and start it, I guess. Commie worms, well, if we get commie worms, I guess we'll have to have a Huey come out and spray them with insecticide. Do it Nom style. Which do I like better, the 9330 or the STX? I really, honestly, I have not ran this STX enough to know. I like it. I like the cab in here. The cab is a lot more, it's a lot bigger. It's a lot more open. We can start it here. It's got bright light. Anyhow, we're gonna end this, so